You can, let's assume you have written several checks and they bounce, and your banker asks you to pay him a visit in his office. And he tells you, you see, here is check number so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, and here was the balance before you draw these checks, and there was not enough, obviously. And you say, yes, perhaps according to your logic, but in my feeling, there is enough.
Bankers these days do the same thing because they create their own money.
Having been in finance yourself, you understand what I mean, right?
I understand what you mean, yeah. But on the other hand, it's an interesting thing you bring up, because I could then say the whole banking system is based on a complete illusion because they just create money as they need it.
That's true.
So
every metaphor, every image has its own limits. Right? Yeah. I agree with that. Yeah. You cannot push the envelope. But for the simple purpose of what I wanted to convey is this, of course, I'm not... there are many kinds of things being said. However, many things that are being said are not reasonable. I tend to try to stand on the side of the reasonable.
I'm finding this interview very hard, and I'm wondering why that is. My feeling is I can't get in. Is that to do with me, or you, or both of us, or consciousness? What's your experience of what's going on between us?
Perhaps you're not happy about my answers.
No, it's not your answers. It's just my feeling.
My answers don't really hit home, so to speak.
That's probably true. Actually,
my answers, you kind of say, okay, on the intellectual level, I somehow, more or less, agree with you. However, but there are many other levels, and at those many other levels, I don't agree. You are visiting the banker, and you say, yes, if I make the additions, I agree with you. However, there are many other levels, I don't agree.
Yes. Yeah.
So, in my view, you should then make the statement of what is it that brings these other levels to the light of presence. Let's see where the problem lies, or where the resistance or the I speak to you from my experience in the moment. I don't speak to you from something I know from the past. And I think it is only in the moment itself that we can have a real meeting.
I feel available for that meeting.
You are the interviewer.
I've forgotten about the interview. For me, it's a meeting. It doesn't matter about the interview. I do this because I enjoy it. If the interview doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's not the important thing. I'm not fixed on the end result. I like a nice result, but it's not the most important thing. The important thing for me is the meeting.
I agree with that. It is the same here.
So Dave over there has told me a few minutes ago there was 10 minutes left. There's maybe about 7 minutes left. What would you like to say? How would you like to use the last 7 minutes? Do you have something you'd like to say?
I just answer questions. Because it is the questions that triggers the answer.
Right.
You see, if there is not the urgency, the intensity in the question, the answer doesn't come. It is in a way the desire that from which the question originates that pulls the answer out of presence. I'm not answering questions. I'm listening to questions, and then I'm listening to the answer.
I had lots of questions written down, but as you notice, I haven't looked at any of them. I wanted to say, I usually do a few questions. I have a few in reserve, but I try and be as spontaneous as I can and just sit with the person and look and see what's there. So I don't have lots of clever questions to ask.
Yeah, but clever questions, they are not interesting. True questions. A true question is a question to which we don't have the answer beforehand, number one. And number two, a question that really motivates us. A question to which we are eager to hear the answer, to have the answer.
You have a question for me?
No, because it is not for me to know what your questions are or is. It is for you to know.
Yeah.
I cannot do that.
I've run out of questions. I don't want to check my notes. So we're going to end by just, as I like to do, I'd like to tell people you have a couple of books out here, Francis Lucille, and I'd like to thank you for coming. It's been an interesting experience for me, and thank you for watching Conscious TV, and we'll see you again soon. Goodbye.
Thank you, Iain.
Thank you.